NASL Indoor Soccer is brought to you by Molson, Canada's name and beer since 1786. Brewers of Molson Canadian Lager Beer. Today, from the Northlands Coliseum, it's the Edmonton Drillers and the Toronto Blizzard. Hello, everyone. I'm Vic Rowder, along with play-by-play announcer Al McCann and color commentator Brian Rice. Today's game has all the makings of being a grudge match. It dates back to a game these two teams played in Toronto late in November, when the Drillers' Paul Rowe and Blizzard goalie Blaggy Tamanzic got in a little scuffle. Rowe has been out with an injury ever since. The Drillers, of course, were hoping to get back at Tamanzic today, but they will not have that chance. Starting in net, his first start of the season is Tony Chersky, a member of Canada's national soccer team that won the qualifying over Mexico and the United States. The Blizzard big shooter continues to be Rob Prentice. He has 10 goals and 8 assists for 28 points, so he will be the man that they will have to mark today. The Blizzard, 3-game losing streak right now, and they have not scored a lot of goals. 11 in those 3 games, so they're going to be looking to score a lot today. Let's now join Alan Bryan.
Well, the homestanding Edmonton Drillers are hoping that they can get 1981 off to a good start in this particular game because, you know, Brian, the team's been having problems at home. Timo Liakowski was very, very confident going into the season, but the team's had their problems. They have, Alan. They've had problems winning game in overtime, which isn't usual for them neither. In the outdoors, they're very consistent in overtime games. Well, the veteran is going to be in the nets, John Beretta. He seems to really be taking to the indoor game. Well, I think he enjoys it very much. John's very quick, as you know, and he's very brave, and he likes the game very much indoors. How about forwards? Who do you like? Well, Kai Askeby obviously is the man that we've got to look to in this game today. He's very quick, and he's very good making goals and scoring goals. Actually, Bernie James has played well, too, hasn't he? He has. A lot of the young boys have been brought along in this game this year. They've given some of the Canadian kids and the American kids a lot of game time, and it's helping them an awful lot in their game. Okay, Brian, it should be a good one. Right now, let's go back to Vic Rowder.
Thank you, Al. So the Blizzard looking to win their first game on the road and snap a 3-game losing streak. The Drillers trying to win their first at the Northlands Coliseum. From the Northlands Coliseum, this is the North American Soccer League.
You know how much a piece of grit in the eye can hurt. Imagine how a piece of metal like this can hurt the rest of your life. To work safely, you've got to have eye protection and proper tools. It takes know-how to prevent an accident. We've got it, let's use it. Produced in cooperation with the Workmen's Compensation Board by your Construction Safety Association.
All right, I got it. This thing must weigh half a ton. That's only your half.
Hey, Dick.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony, Bill. Hey, want to borrow my crane?
Give us a hand, will you?
Hey, guys, I got to get these home to Diane, but I'll be right back.
Hey, Tony, come on.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Without him. Yeah. I got this one.
All right. Off we go. Let me get it. You got it? Okay, you got it.
Well, this is beautiful. Where'd you get it?
Pretty, huh?
Yeah.
I got the first game on it.
Here, you see the lamp I got first.
All right.
We can go in front?
Yeah, you sitting on it?
Hey, down.
Oh, I got it.
For as long as they've lived on the same street, Dick and the boys have helped each other out and shared some eggs.
The bottom there. It's never going to make it down there.
Don't worry about it. Hey, guys, why don't we just leave it here till tomorrow? Why don't we leave it here for good?
Wouldn't hurt your game any.
The Molson Export keeps on tasting great.
You guys are really slow.
If we do not do something for that third world, the world of ours will not exist in 20 years from now.
11 years ago, this man came here to Bafia, 9,000 miles from the pomp and finery of Montreal, to see, to work, to help, amid the misery of leprosy.
Global's got lives. Tomorrow at 10.
The Edmonton Coliseum, and we're just about ready for Indoor North American Soccer League action. The Drillers in the home white uniforms and the visiting Toronto Blizzard dressed in red, trimmed in blue. Looking at the starting goalkeepers, Tony Chersky, the veteran, a Canadian, 27 years old, and John Beretta for the Edmonton Drillers. He's a 25-year-old homebrew Edmontonian, and he also has 5 assists on the year. And the referee in the game for today will be Dan Goldman. And the referee, Brian, plays a very integral part of indoor soccer because he can hand out those 2-minute sentences or be a little relaxed and not call penalties.
He controls the whole game, Al, basically, but he does have one assistant referee who's in the penalty box and watches the players moving on and off the bench for bench penalties.
That number 12 is Kai Hoskevy, you see, working with Ferguson. Now, this is Hoskevy. He tries a long header, easily handled by Chersky. Hoskevy is the leading scorer in the Canadian division of the NASL. 15 goals, 25 assists, 55 points. Drillers hoping that they can pick up a victory in this one because they lost their only other meeting against the Blizzard, 11-10, in an overtime contest. The Drillers now moving on the attack. Veteran Raduca. Ball left now for Goodmanson, one of the new players for the Drillers this year, Albert Goodmanson. He poked the ball into Raduca, and we have a call.
That's a tripping penalty, Al, called on Jan Goosens.
Hoskevy will play the ball. Indirect free kick. Hoskevy blasts it against the wall. And the ball comes bounding back out to the line. Goodmanson keeping it in. Racing it on top of... Bangs in a goal. Beautiful shot. He just did it all by himself, Brian.
Real nice goal. The ball came back to him and he just kind of walked in and beat the defender by chesting the ball down. Gave himself the opening. Nice right-footed shot. Top of the net, off the crossbar. A real nice goal.
Albert Goodmanson, his 9th goal of the season. He's from Reykjavik, Iceland. A 22-year-old, stands 5'10", weighs 160. And the Drillers break in front in the 2nd minute of play in the 1st quarter, and the score is 1-0. An unassisted goal for Albert Goodmanson of Iceland. 1:11, the official time of that Goodmanson goal, and the Drillers back on the attack again. This is Ostrom putting it through to Hayden Knight. Hayden Knight looking for that loose ball in the midfield. This is Wallace. Gordon Wallace, a Canadian player, drops it back for Reagan. Reagan moving now for Toronto, tries to play the bank pass into Wallace. The boards used a great deal in indoor soccer as John Beretta makes the save and pumps the ball ahead to Milwaukee's Hayden Knight. Knight trying a long lead pass for Ostrom, can't get it through. It was blocked in there by Reagan. There's a look at Timo Liakowski in the white. His assistant coach on the left of your screen, J. Dusty Hoffman. And ironically, Brian, Liakowski's team very, very successful in overtime outdoors, but just the opposite indoors.
Yeah, they've had some problems. They've been winning games as well by scores of 10-8, for instance, in Toronto. Give up 2 late goals, and then they get beaten overtime.
Guzens called for doing a little pushing in there on Gungur Tikan, and it'll be free kick. Hayden Knight makes a nice block there, keeping the pressure on, gets it to Guzens. Guzens looking for Knight, then gets a quick shot away. Ball handled by Chersky, and then right in front, and it's headed in. Will it count? Yes, it will. Hayden Knight gets the goal, and that's Hayden's 7th goal of the year.
That simply came off the boards. Jan Goosens was persistent. He hit the... We can catch it right now on the replay. You see Jan Goosens is persistent along the left boards there. He just hits the ball, ricochets. Hayden's falling down. It hits him on the head, then the chest, and then runs into the goal.
Well, the time of the goal was 2:27. Hayden Knight gets the goal. The assist goes to Jan Guzens, and Tikan, of course, very shaken up that he allowed that goal to happen. So very quickly, the Drillers jump in front 2-0 here in the Northlands Coliseum. Toronto in red, looking for something offensive here. Number 26, Velasquez, can't get the ball away from a forechecking Ferguson. From Edmonton, this is the NASL Indoor Soccer.
We couldn't run this commercial if it wasn't true. This hamburger patty is made from 100% pure, federally inspected Canadian beef. All beef, nothing but beef. This hamburger patty is McDonald's. 100% pure Canadian beef. And McDonald's is very proud to be able to make this claim. McDonald's, nothing but goodness, nothing but good taste.
This is Northlands Coliseum, the Drillers and the Toronto Blizzard. Al McCann with Brian Rice and Vic Rauter bringing you NASL indoor action. The ball in the midfield now. The Drillers, if you joined us late, attired in the white uniforms trimmed in red and blue. The visiting Toronto Blizzard in the red jerseys with the blue pants. Blizzard coming away now. This is Velasquez at center. Over the line, trying to penetrate that Driller defense that so far has been very effective. Here comes Ferguson. Good chance, one-on-one. Pass over to Huskabee. And Huskabee scores. Beautiful goal. And that for Huskabee, his 16th goal of the year. A great setup from number 10, Canadian Drew Ferguson of Powell River, BC.
That was a tremendous 1-2 play, Hal. You can see Ferguson receiving the ball from Huskabee all by himself rather than shooting. Back to Huskabee. Open goal. Beautiful goal.
Just no chance at all for Tony Chersky as Ferguson broke in on the right wing and put the pass to Huskabee, who was all alone, had the open net to put it away. Huskebee's 16th goal of the year. He now has 57 points. And this time Chersky plays the ball off the boards as the Drillers keep the pressure on. 3:17 the time of that Huskabee goal, and Raduca picks up an assist along with, of course, Ferguson. 11 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this, the first quarter. On the attack here is Quintanas. Quintanas losing the ball. This is Hayden Knight coming back. Lead pass intended for Guzens. Guzens tripped up as he goes in for that ball. And we'll see how referee Dan Goldman judges this one.
2-minute penalty.
It's going to be a tripping penalty. 2-minute penalty for
Randy
number
Reagan.
16, Randy Reagan, a Canadian 21-year-old, and that, of course, will allow Timo Liakowski's Drillers to put on the power play. Let's have a look, Ryan.
Well, there's a blatant penalty. You could see where the actual ball had beaten the defender, Randy Reagan, and he realized that Goosens was going to be breaking away by himself, so he just brought him down, Al. Blatant trip.
Well, the Drillers off to an awfully impressive start here in the Coliseum. 3 quick goals, and we're still playing in the first quarter with 11 minutes remaining in the period. This is Guzens. 4:52 the time of that penalty to Reagan. Nice pass, but coming in too hard was James. This is Huskabee. Quick shot. Great goal. Kai Huskabee. At that time, the Finnish flyer really put the boot to it. His 17th goal of the year.
Unbelievable. Again, you can see the ball. Comes off the boards. Bounces. Huskabee just picks it up on the half volley. Bounces the second time. Just hits it before it reaches the ground again.
4 minutes, 11 seconds, Brian, the time of Huskabee's goal. Guzens and Ferguson picking up assists on the goal, and the Drillers are really going the storm. It's now 4-0, and we're still very early in the game. On the attack, Cliff Calvert, English forward, trying to bounce one through, but it's picked off by Captain John Webb. And the play whistle down, pushing there.
Another look at our fourth goal here. You can see where Drew Ferguson again smashes the ball. It comes off the actual glass here, the plexiglass. It takes 2 bounces. Then just before the third bounce, Huskabee comes along. Beautiful right-footed shot on the half volley. Chersky had no chance whatever.
Back in the center court now with the ball, number 20, Rob Prentice from Scotland. Top scorer, actually, for the Toronto Blizzard. 10 goals, 8 assists, 28 points. His pass is to McClenaghan. Shot bounces harmlessly wide. And coming away is DeLuca. Flipping it up for Ross Ongaro. A couple of homebrew Edmonton players. Back to Andre Ostrom. Ostrom from Holland. The Drillers primarily and Dutch players. This is Webb putting it out for Ongaro. He can't get a shot away. And then Ostrom gets a shot, but he blasts the leg of Wallace, and that had to smart. Nice play by Chersky that time as the Drillers keep the pressure on. They lead 4-0, and they continue to control that ball. Ostrom's shot handled by Chersky. He clears it out for Hatley. Hatley dropping it back. Blizzard trying to set it up now, get some sort of an offense going here. Quick shot, good goal. Rob Prentice firing that left-footed shot for his 11th goal of the year. And there's a little bit happier Coach Keith Eddy, I'm sure, the former captain of the Cosmos.
Quick replay on this again. You can see where the ball comes across now. Prentice is all by himself. Mike Sweeney had come inside. It wasn't really well hit, but it just, John was going down and the ball seemed to bounce before him and caught the open corner.
Beretta was going to cover the corner, and a good left-footed shot by the top scorer of the Toronto Blizzard puts them on the board. 5:55 the time of the goal. Assists on the play going to Velasquez. This is the Blizzard 4-1 now, trying to close the gap even more. Drillers content just to pump the ball back into the midfield. Raduca clearing it ahead for Ferguson. Ferguson working with Hoskamy. Long shot right on. Chersky makes the save. All back to Contanis. Contanis clearing it across for Reagan. This is Reagan. Into the corner man. This is Hatley. Hatley pinned on the boards by Bernie James, who just muscles him there. McClanahan dropping it back for Teakin. Ball bouncing around in Driller territory. Playing indoor soccer practically continuous. This is Franks. McClanahan. Bouncer off the boards, puts the Drillers in some jeopardy, but Tekken can't get a shot away. And the ball's picked off by the Drillers, and they come back into the midfield. This is Hoskamy. Hoskamy and Goodmanson. Hoskamy on the move now. Hoskamy, some very deft maneuvers to Goodmanson. Goodmanson looking for a chance to shoot. Waiting for Hoskamy to get back up again. Ferguson, one bounce. Hoskamy can't make the play, and the ball goes right through. The whistle there. Little bumping going on, and with the score, Edmonton 4, Toronto 1. Our soccer coverage will return in just a moment.
You gotta keep on changing, gotta move with the times. That's what it takes to be the best.
A 5-seater Pontiac mileage maker with a pull of front-wheel drive, that's gotta be Phoenix. Hardly a road too steep, a curve too tough for front-wheel drive Phoenix. Pontiac's X-Car, 4-cylinder or optional V6. Nobody's got it like Phoenix.
Nobody's got it like Pontiac.
You know who's got it, don't you?
Pontiac!
Det sensasjonelle SL1 computertelefonsystem benyttes av 26 land.
includendo l'Inghilterra, la Danimarca, la Norvegia e l'Italia. Il sistema telefonico computerizzato SL1
diseñado en Canadá para prestar un mejor servicio telefónico a los clientes de Bell Canada.
And others wanted it too. It's time we started feeling good about things we do well.
The action here at Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. The Edmonton Drillers 4, Toronto Blizzard 1, and here's Kai Hoskamy. 2 goals already in the game, but he is overhauled this time by Colin Franks. Hoskamy gets the ball again, and he's pulled down, and we have a whistle on the play. And back at the other end, we have an injured goalkeeper. John Beretta is prostrate. Hoskamy calls time momentarily because I'm sure the Drillers want to check on John Beretta.
Yeah, John's flat out there. I didn't see what happened. They were a whole bunch of players in the goal mouth in that last attack by Toronto. I didn't see what happened to John because the ball broke away.
Hoskamy is also still down, so the Drillers, here's a good look at this one, Brian.
Well, here he's tussling for the ball with the defender, as you can see. It breaks away off the boards, comes to Hoskamy, and then he's brought down heavily from behind, and Chersky falls onto his legs, so he may have hurt himself that way.
Well, Hoskamy is on his feet now, but John Beretta is still down. Apparently, it's a knee problem. By the way, that penalty call just moments ago at 7:57 of this first period was to Colin Franks, the captain of the Blizzard, for tripping. So the Drillers have the manpower advantage when play resumes. But, boy, I'll tell you, the Drillers really got off the mark today, Brian, with just a flock of goals. Hoskamy has 2 already. Here's a look now. Maybe we can pick up John Beretta being injured.
Now you can see where there's a whole bunch of players in the penalty area there. John has gone down once. He seemed to have fell heavily on his left knee or his right knee there.
I think it's his left knee he twisted. Todd Snyder, the trainer, out to look things over. Kip Petch also out there. Beretta, I thought you hit a very perfect word in the start of the show, Brian, when you mentioned that John Beretta is brave. And boy, you got to be brave to play goal in indoor soccer.
Oh, most certainly. It's a suicidal position, really, because the ball comes everywhere at you.
Ball comes at you like a bullet, and it's hard as a rock. This NASL indoor soccer game is coming to you from Edmonton.
Instantly with convenient built-in flash. With a Kodak Colorburst 250 instant camera, you're ready to stop all the action to catch all the color. Just slide out its electronic flash and you're ready for great-looking pictures indoors or in low-light conditions. And with Colorburst 250, you're ready for beautiful instant color by Kodak.
It's 4-1, the Toronto Blizzard trailing the Edmonton Drillers. John Beretta, back from a knee problem, is staying in the game. Feeds to Goosens, Goosens to Ferguson, and Ferguson tried to pass, but Tekin got there to clear the ball away. Ferguson fires it home. I thought he was going to pass, but he just ripped it home.
Well, what's happening in a lot of instances, you'll see where Chesky is coming off his line and attempting to cut down the angle, and he simply left the corner wide open. We'll catch this right now. You can see Drew is waiting there, looking to make the pass. Chesky has come off his line here. You can see he's well off his line, and Drew just don't get a nice clean shot to goal.
Ferguson's 12th goal of the year, and that was a power play goal, and the Drillers now lead it 5-1. And Keith Eddy's shaking his head, I'm sure, wondering what he has to do to get some offense going from his Blizzard.
The Drillers' 5th goal, scored by
All into the Drillers' zone now. John Webb, play whistle down. It'll be free kick Toronto. Number 10, Cliff Calvert, will put the ball in play, but now it's controlled by Webb. Ferguson's goal, by the way, was assisted by Beretta and Goosens at 8:22. So Beretta, the goalkeeper, now has picked up 6 assists on the season. Drillers in the white, Toronto Blizzard in the red. This is first quarter action. We have 6 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the first period. Toronto trailing 5-1. For Toronto, this is Rob Prentice, who has their only goal. Prentice tries to bounce the pass through, but it's picked off by Knight, and then he allows his keeper Beretta to take it. Beretta fires it upfield for Andre Ostrom. Ostrom pumping it through, but it doesn't make Jan Goosens. Prentice going back and trying to overhaul that ball. Webb is there. Up to Goosens. Goosens from Arnhem, Holland. Just about gets one by Chersky. Chersky got just enough of that ball to deflect it against the wall. Blizzard organizing now in the neutral zone. This is Cliff Calvert. Calvert, an English player, fires one. They're playing that bounce off the boards again. Calvert fires, good save that time by Beretta. Off Calvert. Webb just relays the ball to his keeper. This is Goosens. Long lead pass intended for Hoskevy, but it's intercepted by Cliff Calvert. Calvert gets the ball over to Reagan. This is Reagan being checked by Ferguson. Good job by Ferguson. He has the ball, and Ferguson just fires it up to Hoskevy. Hoskevy waiting for some help. Tries to throw a back pass, but it's picked off instead by Tekin. Prentice battling with Goodmanson. Here comes Goodmanson. Goodmanson from Iceland coming down to Ferguson, but Chersky comes roaring out to make...
Very, very fast. Goodmanson and Ferguson. They're really putting the pressure on right now.
It's like a basketball fast break, isn't it, Brian? There's a little bit... Oh, there's an easy goal. An easy tap-in goal for Kai Hoskevy. And Hoskevy has a hat trick in the first quarter.
In the first 10 minutes almost. Just unbelievable.
3 goals for Hoskevy, and that one was an easy one.
Well, this again, it's a question of about 3 or 4 shots being made on the Toronto goal. The ball comes off the crossbar. Hoskevy's all by himself, just falls onto his head, and he puts it behind for a goal.
Hoskevy's 16th, 17th, and 18th goals of the season scored here in the first quarter. Assists on that goal to number 12, at least to number 16, Albert Goodmanson. 10:28 the time of the Hoskevy goal. So it's a 6-1 game now. The little rampant here. McClenahan trying to get something going, drops the ball back to Teakin. This is Franks now firing way high into the hands.
That's what you call a frustration shot, I think, really. He's just, Edmonton are taking it to them so much, he just had a long-range shot and they went way over that crossbar.
This is the first home game in the new year for the Drillers, and they're certainly fattening up so far. These two teams tend to play high-scoring indoor soccer, though, and their only other meeting, 11-10, a Toronto victory in overtime. That's probably the highest scoring game in the entire season of indoor soccer, 21 goals. This game Ostrom at least got a good shot away, but it hit a leg. This game has a combination of things, Brian, for the North American who is not, of course, brought up with soccer. It's got a little basketball. It's got hockey, a four-man box. There's Crazy George, by the way, who is getting a lot of publicity this year from his exploits in the football wars. Drillers leading 6-1 on offense once again. This is Guzens. Ball intercepted, picked off by Hatley. Keeper Chersky firing to midfield. Captain John Webb is there. Webb drives a shot off the boards. Hayden Knight containing the ball for Drillers. They move it around. This is Webb. Andre Ostrom. Back to Webb. Webb across for Guzens. Guzens gets it, fires one, and Chersky makes the save. The Toronto Blizzard come away now. Contanis dropping it back for Reagan. Reagan gets it across to Gungor Teakin from Turkey. This is Goodmanson now. Goodmanson for Ostrom. Ostrom looking left for Hoskevy. Hoskevy setting it up now. Flips it across for Webb. A little too slow, actually, and the ball was knocked out of the way by Teakin. Drillers continue to dominate the play, the possession of the ball, man.
Well, they're using Ostrom right now in a forward position. They pulled on DeLuca as a defense.
This is Hatley coming away now. Graham Hatley, Canadian player. He's just 20 years old, 6 goals on the season. Bounces around loose. Back to the line to Franks. Franks pumps it through, trying to bounce a pass into Hatley. This is Goodmanson clearing it intended to get it to Hoskevy, but couldn't. Now Ferguson for Hoskevy. Hoskevy is all forward. He just waits out there for the attack to start. Goodmanson, and Hoskevy is pulled down, but play goes on. Referee Dan Goldman says play on. This is Cliff Calvert. Calvert, back to Calvert, too far. I thought that time Contanis passed up a great chance, but they get the goal anyway.
It was a nice goal. The man was left all by himself again. This is what happens. It takes place so quickly that, you can't leave a man for the moment. Here you can see the man moving into the open space by himself on the right-hand side of the picture. Number 10 just passes the ball out. Nice clean pass. First time shot. Beretta had no chance whatsoever. Nice, good goal.
Good goal after Contanis passed up a great chance to score. Then the Toronto team finally were rewarded for their good passing play. Gordon Wallace got the goal. That was his 8th goal of the year, and the assists went to Contanis and also number 10, Cliff Calvert. 13-16 the time of that goal. It's now 6-2. The Drillers leading with 1:34 remaining here in the first period. There's a look at Coach Keith Eddy of the Toronto Blizzard. Not happy, I'm sure, with what has transpired thus far. But you never know. Lots of goals can come in an awful hurry in indoor soccer. That was McQueen putting the ball ahead. It's dropped back again for Reagan. Reagan to Wallace. Wallace pumps it up court. Little elbow called.
On Prentice against John. We had free kick given to Edmonton.
Here comes Andre Ostrom. Passes across for Goosens. Goosens to Hayden Knight. Knight waited just a second too long, but he almost works his way free anyway. Chersky finally clears it to his teammate McClenahan. This is Randy Reagan. Reagan over the line, gets it across to Prentice. Prentice has problems with it, and it's saved by John Beretta.